Hi, this is Steve Markel, the founder of Families of Character. Like all of you, I'm a parent, but I'm also a grandparent. The reason I'm making this video is because I see a lot of families, parents like yourselves with young children, getting really frustrated over what's probably one of the biggest disruptions of your lifetime. Almost overnight, millions of families like you have become homeschoolers. By the way, let me make sure you understand, I really like homeschooling, so this is nothing against homeschooling. But millions of parents are becoming homeschoolers overnight without any notice, and it's really causing a lot of frustrations in families. Let me tell you a story of my own daughter. She has two children, school-age children. Her and her husband both work. Because of the coronavirus, they're both being expected to work at home. So they're working full-time jobs at home, and now their school, because their kids at home, have sent them 6 hours worth of content every day that their children must get through. And by the way, the school's monitoring their attendance online. So think about this. My daughter is working full-time with her and her husband at home now for the first time with their children and having to spend 6 hours educating their children. Parents, this has caused a major disruption with my own daughter. In addition to that, they're providing for their daily needs. She said going to this store and having to wait for, of all things, toilet paper. I mean, you get it. You're in the same position, right? All this has caused a major disruption to one of the most important things, and that's our daily routines. What I want to talk about, and the reason I'm making this video, is how do you make these good routines or change this so your routines are good and you benefit from them and it adds peace to the family and time back into your day. So that's what I'm going to talk about. You know, parents, successful people focus on things they have control over. And in reality, you have no control over what's happening with this coronavirus. There's a great exercise I'd recommend for you as a couple or for you as a parent. Take out a piece of paper and draw a line down the center of it from top to bottom. And near the top of it, draw a horizontal line all the way from left to right. On the left side of that horizontal line, write down things I have no control over. You can start with the coronavirus, your job. You have no control over being home. You have no control over now having to educate your children at home. These are things you have no control over. And make a list of the things, just as many things you can you have no control over. And then on the right-hand side of that, above that horizontal line, write things I have absolute control over. Let me help you with this one. I've found in my lifetime, there's only two things I have control over: my attitude and my activity. I love an article I read years ago, and it says 10% of life is what happens to me, 90% is how I choose to deal with it. Isn't that true? I have no control over the coronavirus or having to homeschool or work at home now, but I have control over how I accept that in my attitude. If I have a bad attitude, this is going to be reflected in my work and in my dealing with my children and my spouse. So it's important we have a good attitude. But the other thing is I have absolute control over is what I do today. I have absolute control over that, nobody else. So it's important I have the daily routines that set me up for success and set my family up for success. This becomes the critical two components of this negative disruption, is that I control my routines and my habits, and I control my attitude, my activities. So let me spend more time talking about that. By the way, when I control my habits and develop good habits, it leads to happy family. So what we've developed as an organization are a set of free things that you can download from our website, familiesofcharacter.com. One is a weekly planner. Since you're having disruption in your routine, it's important that you get control of your routines now in a new way, in a positive way. So this weekly planner helps you sit down once a week and develop a weekly planner as yourself as a parent or with your spouse, and gives you a guideline on how to develop a weekly routine that will help benefit you and your children. The second thing is a daily routine, and that's setting yourselves and your children up for success on a daily basis. And this again is on our website, Families of Character. There's also things like chore charts. Parents, it's really important that we help get our children to help us with the daily chores. By the way, one father was telling me his 5-year-old son helps do the dishes. I mean, think about this, 5 years old. Kids are perfectly capable at 2 years old at picking up their toys or helping make their bed and cleaning up their room. And it's important to help them develop that responsibility at a young age. And this is a perfect time to begin to develop these new routines now that you're all home, because it adds peace to your day and time back into your day as a family. The other thing is meal times. We're hearing from a lot of parents that mealtime is a big disruption. Now they're home, with their children, and this is being a real problem. So we have what we call this mealtime policy: how to set up a happy, healthy mealtime for you and your family. But these resources are available to Families of Character to help you and your families during this period of the coronavirus and this disruption you're experiencing in your routines. We want to help you build successful routines for your family to add joy and peace back into your family. So, by the way, it's important when you start developing these routines and kids do good things that you acknowledge them. Parents, these children want and need our attention, our positive attention. And so if they do something good and you're busy and you don't acknowledge it, it's likely they're going to start doing negative things to get your attention. And what happens is we start screaming as parents. All of us do it, right? It's unfortunately a reality. The fact is we have so much going on in our lives, and then our kids don't do what we ask them, and then we scream at them. Here's the problem with screaming at our children. First of all, we're being an example of how they'll eventually be parents to scream at their children. Secondly, is the fact is it gets negative attention. So what you're starting to condition the child's behavior to do negative things to get your attention, and that's the only way they can get your attention is if they do negative things. That's not something you want to establish as a parent, as negative behavior of your children, and acknowledging that. This is why it's so important when your kids do something positive, even in a small way, that you acknowledge that in a very positive way and even reward them. Because it's likely children want to make you happy. So when they see that they're doing something positive and you reward them, they're going to do it again. So it's important during this period of disruption that we really reward positive behavior and not negative behavior. When you work as a family on your daily routines, getting your children to do these chores, having a happy mealtime, and scheduling out every week, it's more positive and rewarding for your children, and their behavior is a reflection of that. By the way, developing this doesn't happen overnight. It's habits, right? It takes time and it takes consistency that you do this day in and day out. But what you're going to notice is that actually the outcomes are much more quickly than you expected. You're going to see a much more happier, healthier family. And this is going to add peace and time back into your day, which is what we all want during this period of this disruption that this coronavirus is causing. We're here to help you at Families of Character. We have two moms, Jordan and Sarah, that do a Facebook Live every Tuesday at 11:30 Mountain Time. It's about a 15-minute, and they're giving tips on how to become better parents and to help grow these healthy, happy families. So follow us on Facebook and Instagram and our social media. Go to our website, and we'd love to help you and your family grow to be happy, healthy, productive, successful families. Thanks for listening.